guys, it's Erica with the Child Care Director Share podcast, and I got a question for you. Are you leading an out of school program and wondering how do you inspire your team while creating real impact for the kids that you serve? Well, you have to join us on Saturday, May 7th, 8th, 9th, May 9th, to see Miss Jamie. She is an educator, podcaster, and speaker. She is flying in from Canada to take the main stage at our, and I always say it wrong, Picture You session. That's not correct. I don't think that's correct, but it's as close as I'm going to get, which is like a mini TED Talk, pretty much. So you will see 5 speakers in 1 hour, no fluff, just the good stuff. And it's a great way to get a lot of information and see a lot of people in a short period of time. So I'm so excited to have her. She is a great friend of mine, and she is doing the power of purposeful leadership that transforms out of school programs. And for those of you who really know me, know that I am an after school girl at heart. It's where I started. It is my first love. I will never forget my after school years. The first 10 or 12 years of my career were literally just after school programming. So if you're ready to maybe talk about your why, you want to reconnect with your why, you want to build stronger, high performing teams and lead your program with intention, so every challenge becomes an opportunity, then you don't want to miss Jamie on the main stage. So welcome, Jamie, to our podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, and you have no idea how excited I am to be a part of this. This is going to be glorious.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you. So let's start at the beginning. Reconnecting with your why. Why is reconnecting with your why so critical for leaders of out of school or after school programs?
Reconnecting with your why is so critical because without that why, we cannot function in these out of school programs. The before and after school is one of the hardest places to be because of that in-between program that you don't really get to connect with other educators unless they know what you're going through. So being able to understand that you are making a difference in children's lives in before and after school program and reconnecting to that is really what takes us home and what gives the educators in those programs the passion to keep doing what they're doing and making the difference they're making with those children.
Yeah, I feel like it's a big community, but a small community at the same time. I can remember when going to advocate at the state house, or when our city, or not our city, but our state was putting together quality rating system, and they, invited the stakeholders to the table. There was like a sea of educators, probably like 80 people in the room. And of the 80, there was 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 of us from early childhood, from the school age field. Everybody else was early childhood. And I thought, my God, are we really represented here? And we're just such a small sector, as you would say in Canada, such a small population when you look at, the overall scheme of education. After school programs are really just the smallest piece. But I would beg to say probably the most fun.
Yes, I would agree. And one of the biggest hearts, because children, I say often, children don't stop growing when they're 6. And these educators believe it through and through.
Yeah. It's funny because when they first put in the quality rating system in our state, school age programs weren't even included in that. And it was like, well, you could do it, but there was no money tied to it. But if you were an early childhood program, you would get paid differently based on your star rating. I'm like, well, wait, what happens? The 5-year-old who just graduated, who was in my early learning program 2 months ago, now in July doesn't need quality all of a sudden? Right? Of course they do. Of course they do. So, the work that we do in after school programs is equally important. And so we really want to drive that message home. So can you share a moment when reconnecting with your purpose completely changed the way you lead?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been a before and after school educator for a long time. It's in my core. For the last 5 years, I've been a supervisor, but often wind up back in the before and after school program supplying. And it really, almost every time I'm in there, this why happens, this reconnection happens because the children are so excited to be there. I'm so excited to be there. There's not a day that I wake up having to go to before and after school program that I am dreading going in there. But more recently, just left my role as a supervisor, and as I was leaving, my last class on that day was the before and after school class, the after school children, and those kids I've been in contact with since the beginning for 5 years. And the one little boy, well, I guess he's not little anymore, he's about 9. He gave me a huge hug. He's not a hugger. He gave me a huge hug on my last day, and he said, "I will never forget you, Miss Jamie. You are the reason I come to school." And that right there is just so heart fulfilling. Like I'm doing this because I love what I do, and this is just reiterating that. And it is my why.
Yeah. Yeah. I love those hugs. What would you say is the single biggest factor that makes a team and out of after school programs?
Communication, 100% communicating with each other, because a lot of the times I'm finding now that the before teacher and the after school teacher might be different. And you need to have cohesion and you need to communicate with each other so that the rules are the same, so that the children know the routine, and so that there's no mom said this, dad said this kind of thing.
Yeah. Yes, for sure, for sure. I've seen that firsthand. So that's definitely true. And there are so many moving parts in after school programs, maybe even more so than you would have in a traditional
Mm-mm.
early learning center. So how can leaders create trust, collaboration, and alignment without adding more meetings or more stress?
Honestly, making sure that these educators have time to plan, making sure that they have
Mm,
time to actually be considered into the planning and into the staff meeting, that they are a part of the team, but also understanding that these are stakeholders, that we often are working with schools or we're working with churches or we're working in the basement of places. We need to have this clear communication through all parties, and your educators that are on the field need to be the core of that communication, and you have to give them the understanding that they are what's making this magic happen.
yeah. What do you think purpose-driven leadership looks like in a high demand program?
It's remembering your core, and it's just bringing home that we are educators, that we are relation based, and that it aligns with people, that what we do and the work that we have matters. The building trust, the courage, the culture that we create where teams feel energized and connected and committed, this is where it happens. And making sure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to that, it really turns this work into meaningful communities.
Okay. So let's talk about how leaders can turn everyday obstacles, whether it's staffing, scheduling, resources, into opportunities for transformation.
Oh, I love this question. It's giving people the identity and the independence that they need during these scheduling and during these big decisions that have to be made. It's giving educators the independence, especially those in out of school education, but it's also understanding that we're making a difference. So as a leader, these obstacles that you're getting over are catalysts for change. You are providing educators the belief that they are knowledgeable, the belief and understanding that they can do this and that they are professionals, that they're not just babysitters in these situations, that they're not just people you're pulling off the street to teach these children, that they are honestly there for connection, for growth, and for meaning, and that they are professionals.
Yeah. I think that's a message that gets so lost. And, you know, even with the kids, I can remember being on the playground a few months ago. Might have been summer camp, and no, it wasn't. It was the beginning of school, and I remember saying to her, "How was your day at school?" And she said, "Oh, it was okay." I said, "Yeah, my day at school was good too." And she said, "What school do you work at?" And I went, "This one." And she goes, "This isn't a school." And I went, "It definitely is." I said, "It's a real school, and I'm a real teacher." And she said, "No, you're not." I said, "The degree on the wall says differently, and my 27 years in the building, I think would beg to differ." And she just kind of shrugged her shoulders and like, so even the kids who attend after school programs, they may not look at you as a teacher. They look at you like you, the friend, right? The people I go hang out with after school, right? And do cool things like cooking and music and all the wonderful enrichment programs that we bring to students. Even the children sometimes look at us in a different lens, you know? So it's interesting how that happens.
It's
So
so true.
what do you think are two quick actions that leaders can take this week to strengthen their leadership and team culture?
Okay. Two quick actions. I would have to say that when something goes wrong, or the moment something doesn't work the way you want it to work, slow down, understand the moment, and name it. Know that we care about everyone and their feelings and that the children are safe. So when we are faced with these situations, modeling this calm leadership, reinforcing your values, and also inviting the children into how that happens or the outcome will help tremendously. It won't be seen as a problem or an incident. It'll be more seen as a learning experience.
Yeah, that's good. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
no, not at all. And then the other one would be to be confident and know that you're a professional. Do affirmations, but understand that you're a professional in this field and don't forget it. Don't let what other people say or don't let what you read bring you down because you went to school, you understand what this is all about, you understand child development, and you are an important part of these children's lives.
Yeah. I think it's sometimes hard too because after school professionals, a lot of times they're part time, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of times, in my experience, they're college students, so it's like their side job. But how do you help staff feel ownership and pride in their role while staying aligned with the program's mission?
Oh, I love this question. Professional development like this conference, but making sure that these educators that we're hiring into these positions are held to the same quality standards, like you mentioned, as other educators. So if they are college students, if this is a part time job to them, or this is just something to get by, holding them to a standard that will make sure they go get professional development, make sure that they're staying aligned with the current information that's out there for child development and then understanding that they're playing in this field with us, that they if they're being held to the standard, then they're being treated that they're being held to the standard.
I'm so excited for all the things that are coming your way in 2026 for you, for your podcast, for your wherever you decide to take your lane in your career. I'm so excited for you. So as we start to wrap up, because I don't want to give them all the good stuff, they've got to come to the conference, Jamie. If
Yes.
you could leave every attendee with one sentence of advice about purposeful leadership, what would it be?
Ooh. Ooh, okay. I would say lead the moment, not the outcome. Understand what we're doing is for a purpose. So lead the moment, not for the outcome.
Okay. That's really good advice. So, those of you who are listening, if you are a podcast lover, a podcast fan, Jamie, tell them the name of your podcast.
The Forgotten ECE, and you can find it on Spotify or Apple or wherever you like to listen to your podcast.
And if you want to connect more with Jamie, you want to see Jamie speak, you need to get your ticket for the Early Education Empowerment Conference. The link is
Mhm.
below. We have tickets for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Jamie is speaking on Saturday on the main stage. There's going to be 5 powerful speakers in that 1 hour, and Jamie is one of them. We are so excited to have her come in from Canada. And I could not be more and more thankful. So thank you so much for popping in today with us and sharing a few words of wisdom. And for the rest of you who are listening, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks,
Bye.
Erica. See you soon.